You may not know the man, but if you watch The Simpsons, you probably know the voices. If not, here's a refresher.
Purple drapes! All my life I've wanted purple drapes!
Otto, you okay?
Yeah, just pop my shoulder back in. Ooh, thanks, buddy.
Seymour! The house is on fire!
No, Mother, it's just the Northern Lights.
It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. You stupid monkey! You shut up.
The voices you just heard, from Otto to Mr. Burns to Principal Skinner to Ned Flanders, belong to one man, Harry Shearer. And he's announced he's leaving The Simpsons due to a contract dispute. This is huge news, not just for fans, but for voice actors who see The Simpsons as the gold standard of the industry. My next guest does that same kind of work. So you may not recognize Jeff Teravainen, you might know his voice. And Jeff joins me in studio. So what did you think when you heard that Harry Shearer was leaving the show?
I couldn't believe it. In fact, I have no idea how they would replace him because he does so many parts to the show. And it's harder to replace someone because there's so many nuances that bring, in a character to life. So I have no idea how they'll do it.
And you were inspired to do the kind of work that you do based on him, right?
Yeah, basically him and the other actors on the show. They're brilliant. They do so many different characters, and it really made me, I want to do that. So it was a good start.
Can you imagine The Simpsons without Harry Shearer and all those characters? How do they move on?
No, that's the thing. I think a lot of fans will probably rebel as well because the characters he does are so integral to the story.
Yeah.
So.
All right, now I understand that you think that Ned Flanders, he's one of your favorite characters on the show. Okay, so we'll talk about Ned Flanders in a second, but first, let's listen to a clip.
Oh. Now calm down, diddly 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 diddly. They did their best, shoddily diddly diddly diddly. Gotta be nice, hostility diddly diddly diddly. Ah, hell, diddly ding dong crap!
It's pretty funny. So what is it about you? What do you think that it's about Harry Shearer and his characters like Ned Flanders that makes it so funny?
Well, he's unique, and I loved the way he had it. He was always present with optimism, no matter what terrible thing happened. So when he lost it, it was great. And same with Principal Skinner as well, just the way he handled the kids. And the thing that's interesting about that show is that so much of what they did and said has become part of our lexicon. My wife and I use phrases from that all the time, so.
What do you think it is that, he shows such range, right? Did you at first know that he was one guy doing many different characters?
No, and I was actually surprised. I remember even recently by some of the ones that he did, I had no idea. So it just goes to show you
how do you develop range like that? How can you just be all those different characters, sound differently, and almost fool the audience into thinking that you're many different people?
You practice, but there really are some people who are just born being able to really gravitate to all these different places, and they can do them almost seamlessly. That's the scary thing.
Well, all right, so now CBC viewers, as we were mentioning, they may not recognize your voice, but they'll probably recognize your voice. So let's look and listen at you're being modest here, at some of your work. Let's listen.
This is an Avioner. Avioners have the right to fly during peak seasons. The freedom to choose any flight on any airline. I will strive to stand stronger, to grow through stress, to adapt and overcome.
We interrupt this broadcast for a special news bulletin. Headlines from Russia. A flash of light blazing across the Russian sky.
Now, there's some range there, too. You have a nice voice. How do you do that? How do you channel that?
I guess I was lucky to have something that they like voice-wise, and you just want to connect with whatever's wrote in front of you. You really need to understand it and bring it to life.
Now, I also understand, I think we have this clip, too, that you do some video. Oh, we don't have that clip. I'm sorry, we don't have that. I'm sorry about that. All right, but finally, what do you think in terms of Harry Shearer? Do you think he can make it on another show?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's enormously talented. A guy like that, number one, I don't think he ever needs to work again, so if he doesn't want to, but yeah, people would be clamoring to get him on.
All right, good to talk to you. Thank you very much, Jeff. That was voice-over actor and narrator Jeff Teravainen joining me in studio. You're watching CBC News Network, the #1 news network in Canada. We have lots more to come, including a look at the weather across the country. First, have a look at this.